Oh yes, this is Rick. Rick is here. This is my son. Okay. But as I walked around and I looked at the different projects, I could feel this incredible cultural and historical resonance in them of African American history and African American life, and it made me think about our history and tradition, and the fact that we have in our history a way of taking things that look very much different and making them our own. The way we took marching bands and made them jazz, or the way black people entered into the NBA and made basketball a whole different game. And as I walk around here, it's very clear that there is our own style and imagination that is taking over the technology and interpreting it in our own terms, our own language, and our own vocabulary. And I think that can only happen if you have a program like the one that Red Burns has created here. And that's a program that is about imagination and ideas and not the machine. So I want to salute Red Burns as well. And I know that this program is in partnership with the Africana Studies program here at NYU. And Matthew is not here, but wherever he is, I'm sure he will hear this and feel this in spirit. And hear this, because since he's been here, Matthew has had a way of having this program just kind of diffuse itself throughout the entire university and make partnerships everywhere, certainly here at the Tisch School, but everywhere in the university. So it's not surprising that this is a collaboration with Africana Studies, and Matthew, we salute you too. He is very well represented by one of his artists in residence, our favorite writer, I think, of probably most of the people here, Walter Mosley, the author of seven novels. So, is Walter on next? Yes. Okay, well then I introduce Walter Mosley.
I was going to introduce myself as a francophone from Mali, right? He's from Mali, but he wasn't raised there. But anyway, I'm supposed to explain to you what our idea was, me and Monty and Clyde Taylor, about Black Genius. We started the program. It's actually like a program inside of Africana Studies, which is kind of mutating over time. The idea came when I was asked to write an article for the New Yorker. The Black New Yorker. They did a Black New Yorker. And they asked me to write an article, and I said no. And they said, please. And I said, no. And they said, please. I was always through my agent. About 10 times it happened. And finally I said, well, they must want me to write it because they asked me 10 times. It's a magic number for me. So I wrote the article. But I told them, I said, listen, I'm going to write this thing. I'm going to send it to you. I'm not going to change it. You're not going to change it. If you don't like it, we just won't publish it. And, usually when you send stuff to New York, I don't know if you know, it takes like months. Because, they're important and nobody else is. I got it back in 3 hours. 3 hours. And they rejected it. Like that. And they said a lot of stuff, but what they really meant was, this is an article geared at and aimed to black people. And those not the people who read our magazine. White people read our magazine, and we need to be nicer to them. And I wasn't very nice. I wasn't mean, but I wasn't very nice. And I was kind of like, we don't want to pay attention to that. We want to pay attention to something else. And so then I went to Monty and I said, listen, Monty, this is awful. I can write stuff that can't get published. And maybe there's a lot of people like that. And so we discussed it for a long time. We came up with the idea of Black Genius. The idea of Black Genius, though, is not a genius. It's not like Einstein's genius, right? The idea is that there's the old term of genius, the crystallization of the thought of the people, how people survive, how people create, and how people think. So what we did is we had 14 speakers, each one of which, I think, from Spike Lee to Bell Hooks, to Stanley Crouch, to quite a few others, speaking about how they solve problems and how anyone else can solve problems if they woke up this morning with $10 in their pocket. That was the idea of doing it. And actually it's been very successful. We've been very happy, and it's a thing of just actually kind of opening the voice of black people and other people of color and white people, because if black people are speaking well, white people are going to do well too. So nothing you can do about that. And also, so that's the idea. That's what Black Genius is, and that's why we created it. The only other thing I'm going to say is that we really want it to be a living idea. So like the idea of it like kind of coming over here is very exciting to myself, and I know to everyone else. And also, the other idea is that next time, what we're going to try to do is we're going to enter the field of science. We're going to start talking about Black genius in science and how that deals. Because we're tired of Black people studying being Black. Maybe we should be studying something else to actually like do something. Anyway, listen, thank you very much.